everybody, it's Denise. It's another episode of How to Start Running for Beginners, but this one's a little bit different. I just wanted to share with you my story of why I run and how God used something I absolutely do not enjoy doing to totally transform my life. So I've tried running in the past. Actually, probably about 6 years ago, my mother-in-law, who was an avid runner, wanted me to run with her. And I'll never forget, I lived in a rural development, going out there with my smartphone and trying to run. And I ran about 1/8 of a mile. I knew nothing about running. I didn't know how to breathe, how to pace myself, but I was out there on this hot, sunny day, ran that 1/8 of a mile and said, I am not doing this. Well, my mother-in-law persisted at the time, and I remember sort of training and figuring it out, and I ran a 5K with her a few years ago. And it was hard, but I did it. And then I just didn't run anymore. So then I'm going to fast forward to about 2 years ago. And I felt that tug on my heart that I needed to try running again. And so I remember it was cold out, and I bundled up and I went running, and I did not care for it. I was freezing, my feet were cold, the wind, I was not equipped, I didn't have the right attire, and I hung up my sneakers and said, I'm not doing this. Well, obviously God wanted me to run because it just continued to come back. So this past year, 2016, I had a lot of changes in my life. I lost my job, I went through a depression, but I also got to a really good place in my life. I was spending time with God every day in the Word and in prayer. I was just coming out of my shell, sharing more about my eating disorder. I was in a great place in my recovery. And a friend of mine said to me, you know, you should try running because it really helps with both physical and emotional well-being. And I thought, you know what, I'll give it a try. So I remember I started going out and I'd only do a mile a day. It is not like I enjoyed that mile. I need to tell you that because I would get dressed and go out, but I just felt compelled to go out there. And what was happening is when I'd start to run, it was this 1 mile little course. It was so quiet and I could just hear God speaking to me. And every day he gave me a verse or he gave me something to contemplate. And it was as though he and I had this special time together. So what happened is that 1 mile turned into 2 miles, turned into 3 miles. And in November of this past year, I did a turkey trot, which was a lot of fun. And then just this past Saturday, I did a 5K with my husband, the first one of 2017. And for me, it's not about the races. It's not about being competitive. It's not about anything to do with that. And I still don't like running. You need to understand that. But if you're a runner, you might get this. I mean, everyone's different, but I hate it, but I love it. I can't explain it, but there's something about when I'm out there and I'm just feeling, and for me, when I feel that sun shine on my face, I feel like God is right there with me. And there's times, especially when it's cold outside, that I'll come around a corner and the sun will just be shining and I'll just feel God's presence. And there's so much that goes on, not just in my body, but in my mind and in my spirit, most importantly. And I feel like it has really helped me to draw closer to God. So remember, there's things that God's going to put in your life. It may not be running. I do understand that. And any new exercise, check with your doctor first before you start a program or anything. I knew I had the ability. I wanted to be a cheerleader in high school. I did not have the ability. I can't do a cartwheel. I have no gymnastic ability, but running I could do. Mentally, I couldn't get past it. But once God got me out there, and like I said, it takes me 5-10 minutes to get dressed on these cold days to go out and run. But once I'm out there, I just experience his presence in a way I never have before. So if something is being put in your path continually, you just see it in your life and God is just not letting it go for some reason, explore it. It may be one of the hardest things you've ever done. The best things that have happened in my life are the things that have pushed me way outside my comfort zone. And so like I said, I may not love running. It's funny, I'll look out the window and think, oh, I don't want to go running. But once I'm dressed and I start running, I just experience his presence. And there are times I have to rely on him every step. I live in the hill towns of upstate New York. It's hilly. It's not an easy run. The wind can be terrible. But you know what? Even more so, I have to depend on him to get me out that door 5 days a week and to be with me every step of the way. And that's just like life with God. We have to depend on him every day, every moment, every step. So I hope, whether you are a beginner runner, a seasoned runner, you don't run at all, maybe you walk, if there's something in your life that God is putting there repeatedly, ask him what it's about and take that step out in faith that really may change your outlook and your entire life. God bless you guys. Have a great day.